Hi everybody, how's it going? Brian here. This is, let me turn up the volume. This is Class A Plus English. My name is Brian and today we're going to continue with a steampunk adaptation of Jules Verne's novel, film, cartoon, Around the World in 80 Days. I hope you're well. It's Sunday the 21st of September. Oh my god. Time is flying. I've been away for a couple of weeks. Yeah, I've just been really busy and I haven't been able to get online to do a stream, so I apologize for that. But I hope everyone is well. I have something here. This stream is definitely not brought to you by Bitter Cass. One of my students was telling me about this. I didn't realize it's an energy drink. Sin alcohol, it says, so that's not much fun. Maybe we'll have to add something to it. But one of my students, Roberto, big shout out to Roberto in Madrid. Atleti. I'm going to try it. That's very nice, actually. That is really quite nice. Yum 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 yum. Where was I? Yeah, I've been away for a couple of weeks. I've been really busy. I hope you're well. Let me explain, what is Class A Plus English? Well, I'm an English teacher living in Spain and I'm running this very small, I would call it niche channel, where I'm playing video games and I am talking about the vocabulary that they're using. So I'm playing story-driven games, yeah. More, I don't know, what have we been playing recently? Hercule Poirot, Disco Elysium, 80 Days, what we're doing now, rather than, Fortnite or Call of Duty and stuff like that. Shall we jump into it? Let's do it feels like ages since I've used OBS, yeah, so excuse me if I make any mistakes. I hope the volumes and everything's okay. Alright. But let's do the word of the day. Word of the day. Okay. It's a couple of days old. Rationale. I did this week with a few students. So there might be a false friend in Spanish, rational, to make a rational choice. It's a rational idea, but rationale is quite a nice word. It's very typical. Rationale refers to an explanation or reason for something said or done. It's often used with, for, behind, or of. What was the rationale behind the decision?
Rationale.
Burping now from that. City council members who oppose the zoning changes should be ready to explain their thinking, their ideas for voting against it. She explained the rationale behind her early retirement, her reasons why she retired early. It's a really nice word, very typical word. One more time.
Rationale.
The rationale. For me, I usually use the rationale behind. What is the rationale behind that choice, that decision? Okay, let's move on. Where are we? We are, hang on, whoa. We are going to San Francisco. If you remember in the last stream of 80 Days, we took a ship from Yokohama. I was having some audio problems, really bad audio problems the last stream, so I cut it really short. I was a bit fed up with it. Hopefully today will be okay. We took a steamliner, a big ship from Yokohama in Japan, and we're traveling across the Pacific Ocean to San Francisco. So I hope you're all wearing flowers in your hair and you're ready to hit the United States of America. Hopefully ICE agents won't kidnap us off the street, detain us and send us to some sort of maximum security prison in Venezuela or El Salvador or whatever the fuck they're doing at the moment, San Francisco, I've never been, but I got a lot of friends who live in San Francisco from Ireland. It's a very typical place for people in my town. I think the mayor of San Francisco was from Ennis at some point. What's her name? The woman I think they're divorced now. She was married to one of Trump's sons. Do you remember like the video? The best has just become. She's from actually, well, her father was from my town in Ireland, and he became the mayor. And now she's a crazy MAGA person. But anyway, I can't even remember her name. Yeah. I was looking at the internet earlier on this morning, and I was looking at the maps, Google Maps, for San Francisco. Here we are. This is where we're going, San Francisco. And I was thinking, when I think of San Francisco, what do you think when you think of San Francisco? I think hippies, maybe very famous in the 1960s, wasn't it? Like, yeah, the hippies. I think tech. I wonder where Silicon Valley is. Well, maybe we should have a look. Silicon Valley, all the tech bros. Silicon Valley's in San Francisco, isn't it? I think of fentanyl, the drug. If you look on YouTube at the moment, it just looks incredibly sad. All the people really addicted to a very strong opiate. And I also think of films. I think of movies. And there's a lot of films set in San Francisco, you know. The Streets of San Francisco. Does anyone remember that detective show? I was looking earlier on anyway, and I was looking at that really funny street. Here, look, Lombard Street. It's quite a famous street, and I thought it could be interesting to have a look at some pictures. Where is reviews? It's a really winding, steep street. Can I see photos? Yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, look. It's a really famous street, yeah, and you have to see this in films. Now, I could say that this is really steep. It's a very steep hill. You're going to be out of breath by the time. Out of breath by the time. Well, I will anyway, because I smoke, you see. So I would definitely be out of breath by the time I reach the top. You could say that they're very winding roads, you know. It's quite cool though, isn't it? It looks like a lot of traffic there. I don't know if that's deliberate. If you take a look at some photos. Video. And I was reading, it's a real tourist trap at the moment. All the tourists go there, and it's extremely winding. Paul McCartney, the long and winding road. Looks nice though, doesn't it? Also, it was in Grand Theft Auto, wasn't it? Grand Theft Auto San Andreas? Yeah, I think San Andreas. Nice views of the city. Yeah, anyway, that's at Lombard Street. You can see it. Where is it? You can see it here, look. Because America is always in a grid formation, isn't it? And then you got this kind of weird street here. So, if anybody goes to Las Vegas, San Francisco, send me a photo, yeah, of Lombard Street. Alright, let's jump into the game, yeah? So, we were on the boat. What happened the last day? We saw a murder. We were, like, out on the deck of the ship. We saw two sailors, two cabin crew having an argument. And they had a kind of fight, and I think one of them pushed the other one over, and he landed on the deck and he died. And then there was a funeral. And that's exactly where we are in the game now. So let's continue. Let's jump right into it. So it's Sunday, Sunday midday, yeah. It's Sunday lunchtime, maybe. La hora de vermouth, maybe. An aperitif before lunch. Me, bitter red Cass. It is quite nice, isn't it? It really is quite nice. Oh, before we start, yeah, if you're liking this, because I know nobody watches to the end of the stream, you can do me a really big favor by liking, if you haven't already, subscribing, and I'd really appreciate that. Really, seemingly, it really helps the channel. And, you know, leave some messages. Have you ever been to San Francisco? Alright, let's get started. So here's the funeral. The guy died. The funeral crew held a funeral to hold a funeral for the dead sailor. I was not specifically invited, but I felt a sense of responsibility. I was curious about the incident. Curious. The funeral was an excellent opportunity to learn more about the crew, the workers, the sailors. Captain Wicker led the Christian service with customary grimness, very serious, very downbeat. I was surprised by the absence of the American minister, that's like a priest. This sailor's companion, right, the killer, yeah. Wow, imagine killing somebody and going to their funeral. That's cold, isn't it? That's really cold. Okay, I was surprised by the absence of the sailor's companion who had been arguing with him just before his fall. Yet he was not the only one missing from the funeral. Oddly, strangely, curiously, only half the crew had come to pay the respects. Half the crew? Is there division amongst the ranks? I went in search of the rest of the sailors. I asked my neighbor. I supposed that death at sea was commonplace, normal, happens a lot, not unusual. Let's go in search of the rest of the sailors, see what they're up to. What they're doing. What are you up to today? What are you doing today? I went in search of the rest, only to find them making an offering in front of a makeshift Shinto shrine in the crew quarters. The fellow from the night before was amongst them. The captain doesn't want us at his Christian ceremonies. He thinks nothing of our faith, one of the sailors told me bitterly. We make our offerings here instead. You see, this is the problem, yeah? A lot of my friends, a lot of my family think I'm a bit strange because I am a big fan of Genghis Khan, the Mongolian warlord, you know? And they're like, are you crazy? He killed millions of people. He destroyed cities. He destroyed civilizations, you know. And yes, Baghdad was unfortunate. But, you know, he gave us a lot of good things. And one thing about Genghis Khan was that he didn't care about religion. Yeah, he didn't care. You could be Buddhist, Christian, Muslim. And they all did. Well, I'm not sure it was so voluntary. They probably had to do it or die. But yeah, he didn't really care. You could worship whoever you wanted to, because according to Genghis, everything under the sky was his, which always makes me laugh. Anyway, your character is now dependable. Thank you very much. I think that's a very good adjective to describe me. Although I haven't been so dependable over the last few weeks. I've been skipping a few streams. The Water Lily, the beautiful ship. Okay, let's, we need to sort out Fogg. I missed it. Damn. Fogg is suffering. Is at 72. Storm. Too exhausted to write a proper entry. Suffice to say, we are still afloat. Suffice, sufficient, to suffice. You know, when I travel, I prefer to stay in 5-star hotels, but sometimes I might come to a small town and there's only a 3-star hotel. Now, I'm a man of the people, so I don't get angry, and every now and again I'm willing to slum it in a 3-star hotel. It will suffice, I say. It's sufficient, yeah? It's not 5-star. But it's 3-star, but it will suffice. It will be sufficient. So, as we settled down for the night, I was struck by an unrelated thought. Bing! Monsieur Fogg, the dateline. I have altered our watch already, Monsieur Fogg replied calmly. Did you think I might forget? Okay, so they're moving into a different time zone. My master was, of course, correct. With an eye such as his, it was unthinkable that he might miss such a detail. To have an eye for something means you're very good at it, you know. So he has an eye for detail. He's very accurate. He's very thorough. Thorough in Ireland, yeah. He's very thorough. He's very thorough. It means he looks at the details. We had reached the point directly opposite Greenwich. Imagine what might have happened had we forgotten. We had reached the point directly opposite Greenwich, which is little, well, not little, it's a part of London, which is the Greenwich Mean Time, GMT, which is where the time is set, isn't it? We had arrived at the point directly opposite Greenwich, where the hours we had lost in travelling around the earth were added back, a whole extra day. So this is the point, everyone. We have 80 days to get around the earth. We left London, we headed east. We went to Russia, well, we went to like Europe, and then Russia, Germany, Russia, Japan. Oh, we were in North Korea as well, weren't we? We were in Pyongyang. We're going east, and we got to get around the world in 80 days for a rather large bet. So we've made an extra day, and we have £3,000. Now, £3,000 might not sound a lot, does to me, but even today, but still, in 1870, whatever it was, it's a hell of a lot of money. Alright, we had reached the point opposite Greenwich where the hours we had lost in travelling around the earth added back a whole extra day. Yay, 46. Fogg. Ah, I missed it again. God damn it. Yesterday's storm hit us with little warning. One moment I was preparing Monsieur Fogg's shaving water, mending one of my shirts, adding a ribbon trim. I have no idea what a ribbon trim is. Something to do with your clothes. Mending one of my shirts. No, preparing is... Yeah, we're looking after the master. The master. We were preparing Monsieur Fogg's shaving water to exactly the right temperature. The next we were being tossed from one end of the cabin to the other. We were only lucky that the bed was securely nailed to the floor. The ship shuddered and moaned. Rain clattered against our iron hull. The hull is the outside of the ship, this part here. The ship shuddered and moaned as the seas flickered with lightning. The storm lasted nearly 6 hours and blew us far off course. The captain spent most of the day peering at his charts to peer at something, trying to locate our position. There is no land anywhere upon the horizon. Relations with Fogg have strengthened slightly. Yay! Okay, so you can see here we're getting lost. Converse. Greetings, mademoiselle. Passepartout. Why, hello. Begin conversation. Honolulu. Mademoiselle Loretta Cleve about Honolulu. I have heard Honolulu is impossibly beautiful. A paradise. So, Honolulu to San Pedro, St. Peter. Honolulu to Acapulco. Port Moresby, I never heard of it. Honolulu to Manila. No, that's going backwards. Pitcairn Island. That sounds like somewhere south, doesn't it? Pitcairn sounds Scottish. That sounds like one of these kind of colonial things. Let's go to San Pedro. St. Peter, St. Peter. I'm sure I have no idea, but you can obtain cotton flowers in San Pedro. You can sell for profit in San Francisco. We're going to bring flowers to San Francisco, everybody. What about Acapulco? Acapulco Gold. Did I say that? Sorry. Yes, my childhood sweetheart had a wonderful time aboard the airship Reina Cristina. Queen Christine from Honolulu to Acapulco. Playing cards. Whist card game. I'll cut. And you deal to deal the cards. Alright, let's go to Acapulco. Get some Acapulco gold, everyone. Now here's the thing, you can pick up sugarcane in Acapulco, extremely valuable in Burlington. Havana! Dakar! Oh my god. Did you realize that some of the buyers will pay well for magnifying glasses from Dakar? But answer me this. Are all Frenchmen like you? Yes. I will pray for all your souls then. And why am I speaking in a French accent? She's not French, is she? Maybe she is. What about Havana? I wish I knew, but you can buy sugarcanes in Havana. You can sell for profit in Chicago. What about Panama City? I've got a student in Panama. I wish I knew, but merchants in Dakar will pay fantastic amounts for antique maps from Panama City. We're going to Senegal, everybody. I think we're doing alright, yeah? I was going to Senegal once. I was living in Turkey. I bought the ticket to go. I was going to move to Dakar, basically. And I had all set up. I was learning French. I had the tickets bought. But my father got ill and I couldn't do it. The captain announced a change of destination. The Water Lily would now make by for nearby Hawaii rather than San Francisco. We would make port in Honolulu in 5 days and would have to find our own furrow of convenience from there. Honolulu sounded wonderful to me. Monsieur Fogg's lips pressed ever so slightly together. He's not happy. I need to groom him, yeah, because not groom him like that. Groom him as in look after him. He's getting low. Monsieur Fogg's lips pressed ever so slightly together, a rare outward sign of, entirely understandable, annoyance. Yeah, to be annoyed. This, my master said, will not do. Indeed, sir. But the beaches, monsieur. Indeed not, sir. I agreed, not even daring to calculate the delay in expense or unexpected diversion would cause. Monsieur Fogg gave me a cool, appraising glance. I'm speaking in French accent, I have to stop. Captain Wicker has reneged upon his word as a gentleman. Sorry, he's English. Captain Wicker has reneged upon his word as a gentleman. To renege on something, so he hasn't fulfilled his promise, yeah? He's gone back on his word. He said curtly before lowering his voice to an almost furtive undertone. Of course, our course is clear. We must mutiny! Jesus, I didn't expect that. I opened my mouth. Right, so to mutiny, a mutiny is like when the sailors take over the ship, you know? So like they take control. Maybe they don't have confidence in the captain or whatever, or maybe the captain is cruel, yeah? Cruel, evil, bad captain. Mutiny on the Bounty. That's a fantastic film, yeah? Fantastic film. So my boss is saying we have to mutiny. I opened my mouth too. Agree? Damn right, let's do it. I opened my mouth to agree wholeheartedly, but he continued without so much as a pause. See to it, Passepartout. Use your natural charm. Use your initiative. Use your funds. Use the money. Well, we have seen division amongst the ranks, yeah, of the sailors. Half of them went to that funeral, and the other half weren't allowed. Yeah, they weren't allowed to a Christian ceremony. So maybe, just maybe, baby, we could get them on our side. Let's use our initiative. Initiative, I offered brightly. Quite, he said, with the agreeable... Jesus, man, I'm getting all this kind of spam pop-ups. Hang on. No, Adobe, I don't want to subscribe to your platform. Initiative, I offered brightly. Quite, he said, with an agreeableness of a gentleman who had just given his valet a new Herculean task. Herculean task, really nice. Hercules, yeah? Hercules had, what, 13 tasks, was it? That he had to complete, but they were like almost impossible, weren't they? So when something is really, really difficult, we call it a Herculean task, a Herculean job. We will mutiny in 5 days when we reach Honolulu. Make your preparations as you see fit. I like Fogg. Yeah, come on, we're going to take this ship. Strengthen slightly, okay. Wait. Groom. Give me a chance. Groom. Yeah. A round of whist, very good. So we're playing cards again. He's gone up a bit. My task, my job was clear. I was to foment mutiny above the water lily. I decided to begin by exploiting the crew's animosity towards one another. There was a split, right? 50-50. Divide and conquer like the Romans. Or so dear Mama always counselled. I considered inflaming their religious passions. Gossip and rumor would be a good way to start. I'm Irish, so we're gonna inflame. We're gonna start a religious war on the ship. I'm the least religious person you'll ever meet, by the way. I considered. I can imagine my mother on the phone. Brian, have you been inflaming religious passions again? It's like, sorry, Mum. I considered inflaming their religious passions. Through such passions were by their nature unpredictable. So I decided to desecrate the Shinto shrine. Let's just have a quick look at this, yeah? Shinto shrine. Images. Shinto. I'm thinking pagoda kind of stuff. Pagoda. Ah. Yeah, this kind of pagoda thing, you know, that you get. Yeah, we call that, I think we call it pagoda. I'm not really sure. Okay. Yeah. What is a Shinto shrine? It's a place of worship in Japan, and it's famous for its iconic features like the Toril Gate, main sanctuary buildings, and landscaped grounds, often set amidst forested or scenic areas. Common examples include the Great Toril at Itsukushima Shrine and thousands of other shrines. They are easily recognizable by features such as bright red Toril gates, traditional wooden structures, and serene natural backdrops. Okay, cool, nice. So we're going to desecrate one. That is rough. Now, desecrating a religious area, I don't know if that's too cool, to be honest, even for me as an atheist. But let's have a look. So I'm not cool about that one, yeah? Steal the captain's wall-mounted crucifix. Spread rumors about the Shinto crew members. Gossip about the captain. We're going to steal the crucifix. No, if I steal the crucifix, the captain will get angry. He'll blame the Japanese. There will be conflict. Desecrate the Shinto shrine. They will be furious, won't they? They'll think the captain, the Christians have done it. They'll be furious. They'll want to probably fight. Spread rumors. Now I've only got 5 days about the Shinto crew members, or gossip about the captain. Anybody got any ideas? What do you think we should do? We've got desecration, desecration, rumors and rumors. I think we are going to steal the crucifix. So I decided to steal the captain's wall-mounted crucifix and blame the theft upon the Shinto crew members. The captain... Now, everybody, this is just a game, okay? This is just a complete joke. I would not do this in real life, okay? We're just trying to stir trouble here because I'm following orders. Okay. I have no choice. Absolutely no choice. So I decided to steal the crucifix, the cross, and blame the theft upon the Shinto crew members. The captain took the theft as a personal affront, a personal insult, and ordered a humiliating search of the crew's quarters. The officers destroyed the Shinto shrine in their search, and several of the crew were dragged off to the brig for fighting. The brig is like the ship prison. It was with satisfaction that I noticed a certain increase in tension. This is not me normally, everybody. I'm not happy when there's an increased tension amongst everybody, you know. But anyway, this is just a game. It was with how many times have I said this when I've been streaming? It's just a game. My decisions are only, they're not real. It was with satisfaction that I noticed a certain increase in tension aboard the Water Lily, a situation I would carefully have to exasperate if my master's mutiny was to have any chance of success. I'm going to have to increase the pressure, you know what I mean? There's tension. It's a tinderbox of violence, you know? You just light the match and whoosh, off it goes. Now, I attempted to ingratiate myself with Commander Davis and the submariners, the Chinese laborers. To ingratiate yourself means to become friendly with them, you know. Kind of ingratiate yourself is like, here, have my food. I don't want it. You can have extra food. You know what I mean? You're trying to be really nice to someone, you know. It's like going to the bar and buying all the drinks for the person. You want to ingratiate yourself. You want them to think, oh, this guy's kind of cool. Alright, so what can we do? We can go to the Commander Davis and the Submariners. Well, they want to go to Honolulu. It was their decision. Or we can check in with the Chinese laborers. Let's go for it. Ni hao, my friends! Who were still rather storm-tossed and discombobulated. Discombobulated. Now, I don't really know how to explain this word, yeah? Discombobulated is like completely out of sorts, isn't it? Yeah, to be discombobulated, it's like not functioning correctly. Discombobulated. Discombobulated.
Discombobulated.
Wow. What a voice. Is that full? One more time? It's like Clint Eastwood. Discombobulated.
Discombobulated.
Discombobulated. Characterized by confusion or disorder, right? He was discombobulated, utterly confused as to what had happened. But you've probably noticed that oversleeping can make you feel discombobulated, says Christopher Bergland. Detroit's offensive line was a discombobulated, unorganized, a mess of failing health and poor performances, yeah? Member-produced artworks filled every nook and cranny of discombobulated historic rooms. Meh. So it just means disorganized, not, you know, chaotic, maybe. Discombobulated. It's kind of a cool word, I suppose, but nobody really uses it, I think. So after the ship was being stormed, like the storm, and they're being tossed and thrown around, and they're disorganized, and they don't know where they are, they're discombobulated, I managed to convince them to play dice with me and proceeded to impress them with my skill or to lose deliberately. Well, I want to ingratiate myself, so I'm going to lose deliberately. And they'll think, ha ha, idiot. To gain favor to the tune of, alright, he said, £50, which would be a lot of money in 1870, whatever it is. They were quite pleased at their newfound bounty, their newfound money, and combined with my grace in losing, this seemed to make them look upon me with greater favor. They like me. Okay, my funds have gone down, but it's an investment. Jeez, I missed it. I'd attempted to suborn the obvious targets aboard the Water Lily, but wars were often won by the unexpected. With that in mind, I turned my attention upon the valets and batmen. Batman? The ship's artificer. Alright, so I had attempted to, manipulate the obvious targets, but sometimes wars are won by the unexpected. So with that in mind, thinking about that, I turned my attention. The artificer. Who's messaging me on WhatsApp? Hello, who is ever messaging me on WhatsApp? I turned my attention to the ship's artificer. So this is a steampunk game, okay? What is steampunk? So it's got like trains that go underwater. It's kind of like a little bit science fiction, but in the Victorian times, right? The ship's artificer, a tall, rather imposing woman in a short jacket embroidered with the gills. Somebody's messaging me. Hang on, give me a second. Sorry. Somebody's telling me to go to Benidorm, yeah, which is about an hour away. It's about an hour north of Alicante, yeah, and I don't think I'm going to go to Benidorm today. Where were we? So it's a tall, rather imposing woman in a short jacket embroidered with the gills copper lily. Artificers were notoriously, famously, in a bad way, neutral in the matter of conflict of civil disruption, but I bribed her, gave her money, threw myself upon her mercy. So we can bribe, or we can say, please help me. She's rather imposing, so she's not going to react to emotion. She's going to react to hard cash, filthy lucre. But I bribed her with £50, or rather I should say I tried to bribe her. She slapped me before throwing the money at my feet. Do not, she warned, towering over me intimidatingly, ever try to bribe an artificer. Ooh. I should have gone. Okay, I got to get him back up to full strength. Thank you, my good man. I feel better. I spent the day putting the last finishing touches to my planned mutiny. It was a matter as delicate and serious as the creation of a souffle by a master chef. I spread word of my signal amongst my allies. Then I retired. There was nothing more to be done. Let's do it. Let's spread the word. Yeah, have you heard about Johannesburg? I stayed up late, ensuring every man and woman on my side was true, that they're going to do what they said. Mutiny! Missed it. We reached Honolulu in the dark. The captain took a small skiff into the harbour with a few of his officers, small ship, wishing to inquire about repairs before putting the Water Lily into dry dock. Monsieur Fogg watched the boat for a long moment. "Now is the time," he said crisply. "I trust everything is in order." I assured him it was. "Yes, sir." And he nodded, having expected no other response. Let us hope so. With that, the master retreated to his cabin, and I called the signal to arms, which is basically having a drink of bitter cass, which is definitely not sponsoring this stream. It is actually quite nice though, yeah? I have to say. I called the signal! Woohoo! Woohoo! I can't whistle. The Water Lily erupted into chaos. Everywhere was the clash of sabers and pistols, swords and pistols. Now and then I heard the shriek of an officer's sonic weapons, but I was not alone. The captain has gone ashore. He's gone to the land, right? He's gone to sort things out. This is the time to strike, but I was not alone. The half of the crew that followed the Christian faith fell in behind me with a rallying cry. They fought their Shinto crewmates with vicious determination, clearing the top deck within the hour. Huh? I thought we were going to get them on our side. Okay. The Chinese laborers rewarded my friendship with steadfast loyalty, throwing themselves into mutiny with all the desperation of men and women who utterly loathe sea travel and longed to revenge themselves upon their instrument of torment in any fashion. They lit fires and tore up the already ragged sails, causing some unwelcome chaos. So, of course, the Chinese all went to San Francisco. There's the famous Chinatown, isn't there, in San Francisco, to build the railways, you know, the navigators, weren't they? I don't know how many, but lots and lots and lots of Chinese people went and, of course, treated really, really badly because, you know, America. The submariners did not appear. It seemed they had battened themselves in the hold for the duration of the mutiny, but perhaps it was the best outcome I could have hoped for, given my failure to impress their formidable commander. I saw Mademoiselle Loretta trip up one of the loyal officers out of the corner of my eye. She tipped her bonnet in my direction, a gesture of respect from one player of the game to another. The whirl of the battle took me away, but not before I saw her falsify a magnificent feint and block the gangway to the navigation room. Oh, so she's pretending to faint. Oh, like that. So she's blocking the way. By noon, it was clear how the day would end. What do you think, everybody? Have we done it? Have we done it? I think maybe we will. Yay! The mutineers raised a ragged cheer of victory. Hurrah! I myself had ended up with a debonair scratch upon the cheek, and had somehow come to be in possession of a brace of pistols and 3 sabers. By the time the captain and the officers returned, we had complete control of the ship. They were quickly trussed up, tied up, and thrown into the brig or returned to their skiff. Return them to their skiff. Get back on your boat and stay in Honolulu. Oh no, I have to stay in Honolulu. Returned to their skiff to seek their fortune in Honolulu. Monsieur Fogg emerged, surveying the scene of the recent battle with a calm eye. Well done, he said, with classic gentlemanly understatement. Still, it was well done, and more, if I do say so myself. Relations with Fogg have strength. Yeah, I just took over a bloody boat for you, man. Sorry, hang on. Greetings, Commander Davis. Monsieur Barbadoux, yes. begin the conversations. Ask Commander Davis about San Francisco. I have heard there are many Chinese immigrants in San Francisco. I find civilian talk tiring. Let's go to Salt Lake City. We can see where Charlie Kirk got shot. Absolutely, I knew a man who once took the Transcontinental Express from San Francisco to Salt Lake City. And Salt Lake City to Albuquerque. Burlington. Burlington's New York? You mentioned trains. I've been told you can get to New York from Winnipeg aboard the Canadian Pacific Railway. Okay, Canada. Burlington to Atlanta. Atlanta, Georgia. James Brown Town. No idea, but I do know merchants in Havana will pay very well indeed for cotton flowers from Atlanta. Goodbye. Salt Lake City with all the Mormons. Winnipeg. Ottawa. Alright, that's where we're going to go. Winnipeg, Ottawa. Winnipeg, Ottawa, New York. To my amazement, the successful mutineers held a vote and elected me the new captain of the Water League. Captain? I was delighted. Can you imagine, my friends, your humble Passepartout captain of his very own ship? Rest assured, mes amis, it was in great part of a ceremonial title which made no particular demands on my seamanship. Right, considering I don't know how to do it. Monsieur Fogg, though pleased by the success of our mutinous endeavour, seemed to regard my promotion, my elevation in rank with some wariness, to be wary. I am, he admitted as we prepared for bed, somewhat put in mind of Bonaparte. Parbleu! Otherwise, the succession passed smoothly, and I acquired Wicker's top hat as a mark of office. So Bonaparte, well, he wasn't poor, he was rich, but he came from Corsica, didn't he? But he wasn't considered, you know what I mean, he wasn't considered elite. He's kind of considered, what's the word, you know? Rural. You know, they say because of the French Revolution, like that, they killed, they killed so many of the you know, like the royalty and the elite. You know, that so many got killed. That's what gave Bonaparte, Napoleon, the opportunity to rise through the ranks, because you know all the generals and the leaders had been killed in the French Revolution. You know. Anyway, otherwise the succession passed smoothly, and I acquired Wicker's top hat as a mark of respect. Yay! Damn it, I keep missing it. The new first mate, a cheerful girl by the name of Wang, came to me with an intriguing notion, an interesting idea. As you know, the Water Lily is a ship-to-submarine prototype, she said. If the submariners cooperated, we could convert to submersible and make port at San Francisco in 2 days rather than 5. No! What are we on? We're on day 54. I think we can do it. I don't think we need to. Because I don't trust Commander Davis. He's the old boss, isn't he? Like, he's the captain of the ship, so he's only going to try some skullduggery, some nefarious actions, some bad stuff. So I'm going to shake my head. No. I prefer to stay above the water, thank you. I'm playing it safe. Yes, we got him. I feel very well cared for. Right, he's up to 80 at least. We spent most of the day repairing the damage done by the ship by the mutiny. First mate Wang took care of the particulars with an efficiency that I was loath to interfere with. Therefore, I spent my time at whist with Mademoiselle Loretta amongst the crew. loath to interfere. I didn't want to get involved. I didn't want to interfere with her because she's being really efficient. Yeah, now I can hang out with the workers who were fighting, who created the mutiny, or maybe I can just play cards with Loretta. Let's just go play cards, yeah? Who waxed lyrical about the grand adventure of our recent mutiny. To wax lyrical. So you can wax lyrical, everybody. You can say, oh my God, on Sunday I saw this stream by this Irish guy who lives in Spain. It's called Class A Plus English, and it's amazing. The game is so cool, and he explains all the vocabulary so well, and you know, absolutely brilliant. And you have to like and subscribe, because he will be really happy. I am waxing lyrical about myself, yeah, so, you know, it's quite normal if you know me. I feel I have much to learn from you, Captain, she declared, batting her eyelashes in studied coyness. Are you flirting with me, Mademoiselle Loretta? Fogg, a game of whist with you, Captain? Capital, fantastic. I happened upon First Mate Wang holding hands. I'm sweating here and I haven't got my fan on. What time is it? Give me a minute. I'm going to take a quick break, alright? And I'm just going to put on the fan and stuff. Just going to take a quick break. And I'll be back in like 2 minutes, alright? That's right. I've changed my t-shirt. I was starting to sweat. The thing about Alicante is it's incredibly humid, yeah? You sweat and sweat and sweat. It's still really hot. And summer is still, it's not as bad as like August, but it's still really, really hot here. Let's get back into the game. Alright, I happened upon First Mate Wang holding hands with Commander Davis at the rail of the boat. It was too late to trouble the submersible. Holding hands with Commander at the rail of the boat. It was too late to trouble with the submersible. I wondered if I could change her mind. And approached, but at the sight of me, both leapt to their feet. Captain, we were just getting to work, Wang said as the two hurried off in separate directions. We were making good time to San Francisco. I had repaired much of the damage to the water lily. I began to feel restless, yeah? I want to be on the land. I've been at sea for too long. having only an expanse of blue water ahead and behind. My unlooked-for captaincy weighed heavily upon my landlubbery shoulders. A landlubber, right? Landlubber, basically landlover, a landlover. I'm not a sailor, you know. I'd go completely crazy if I was at sea all the time. I like the land. And it's, I don't know, it's an old word, I suppose, landlubber. In the evening, I spoke to Wang about our onward journey. In the flush of command, I had all but forgotten my master. Let's talk to Wang. And she told me that she could buy buffalo hides in Gastown, extremely valuable in Omaha. An interesting fact, though I did not know if it would help. Buffalo hides in Gastown. No, we're not buying buffalo hides. Poor buffaloes. Damn it, I missed it again. We arrived at San Francisco 20 days after leaving Yokohama. We had managed not to lose even a single day, despite the obstacles our seemingly simple steamer journey had thrown up. The obstacles our simple journey had thrown up that had happened. At my urging, Captain Wang accepted the captaincy and bid us a sincerely tearful farewell as we disembarked. If you're going to San Francisco. Wow. The magnifying glass could earn us well. We can make some money, everybody. And I think at that point, we are going to call it a day. It's about an hour. Sorry, it's getting really, really hot here. And I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable because of the light and stuff, yeah? So I hope you enjoyed that. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah, it really helps. It's a very small channel, and I'm just trying to do this, you know, explaining some vocabulary and stuff. If you go to the YouTube channel page on posts, I put up vocabulary quizzes, you know, and you can go check them out. There's loads of them at this point, yeah. And if you've got any questions, just contact me. I've been playing a bit of chess recently. If you play chess, go to the chess streams, and then it's on chess.com, and I don't know, add me as a friend or something, right? Maybe we can play chess online, yeah? You can beat my ass on online if you want, yeah? I don't mind. It's chess, you know? Hope you're well. It's Sunday. It's coming up to 1 o'clock. It's coming up to lunchtime here in Alicante in sunny, maybe a little bit too sunny Spain. And what am I going to do for the rest of the day? Well, I'm going to do a couple of things, I hope, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy your Sunday as well. So don't forget, please like and subscribe. Next Sunday I'm working, so I don't think I'll be able to stream on Sunday, or it won't be Sunday morning, definitely. Maybe it'll be later on in the afternoon, all right? During the week I'm flat out at the moment. I'm really, really, really busy. So I'm finding it difficult to do any kind of like late streams. I think what we're going to play next is Oxenfree, which is kind of a cool game about teenagers in the 90s and aliens and stuff like that. It's quite a cool game. I quite like it for what I've played of it. And what else? Put on notifications because I'm not really sure when I'm going to be streaming, but for the next week anyway, I definitely can't do any kind of maybe Wednesday morning. I might do some chess on Wednesday morning, maybe, or I might even actually do 80 days. I'm not sure. I think I have Wednesday open at the moment, but we'll have to wait and see because students book. Have a great Sunday. I'll see you later. Take care. And there's football on this evening, I think. And yeah, have fun. See you later. Bye bye.